Former President Hernandez's wife, Ana, and their daughters, Isabella and Danielle, who can perhaps clear up some of the questions behind this extradition and prosecution. But first, it's President Hernandez who is serving a 45-year prison sentence with narco-trafficking convictions. Does he still maintain his innocence, and what is the case he's making for his innocence?
Yes, of course. My husband is innocent. Just like President Trump was a victim of lawfare, my husband is a victim of the DOJ's Biden lawfare agenda against him. My husband always fight the narco traffickers. In fact, during his presidency as President of Congress and President of the Republic of Honduras, he passed and approved a package of more than 25 security laws to combat organized crime. This included the anti-money laundering law, the policy purification decree, and asset forfeiture law, among others. Most importantly, Juan Orlando promoted and approved the constitutional reform to allow the extradition of Honduras nationals to the U.S. He did this in collaboration with the U.S. government. He did this as a great risk of his life and our life, fearing the consequences that Colombia, for example, faced when they approved the extradition, which was a wave of narco-terrorism.
And as I understand it, it was some of the people whose extradition he approved who then testified against him. Is that how the trial went?
Yeah, that's true. During Juan Orlando government, 28 criminals were extradited.
Okay. Let me ask this question because it did seem that case was built on a lot of testimony. There was some testimony given by a federal agent that they've acknowledged was false, but a judge said that that was insufficient to grant the appeal that your husband was seeking. And what the judge said was that there were logs that showed that there were all these drugs moving through Honduras into the United States, and that your husband had knowledge of that, and that he protected those narco traffickers. Are those logs related to the activities of your husband, or are those logs not related to his activities?
Yeah, those logs were not related to my husband. In fact, during the trial, the lawyer that represented my husband, he proved that the ledgers were not related to my husband's case. I mean, the case was just based solely in the testimony of narco traffickers, violent criminals.
Well, let me ask you this last question. Are you seeking a pardon for your husband or a commutation from President Trump? Have you pursued that with any member of the administration? Where does it stand?
Yes, but before to answer that, I just want to say something. While President Trump is now declaring narco traffickers as terrorists, DOJ Biden, they may deal with these narco traffickers. In Juan Orlando's case, one of these testigos, they killed more than 56 people, and now he's freely living in the U.S. country. He might be your neighbor. We don't know that. So I think that it's very wrong what they did to my husband. He was a victim. He is a victim of lawfare. So what we are asking the present administration is that they can review this case under different circumstances. I mean, this is a lawfare case, and President Trump...
President Hernandez is working with the United States very closely. You know what's going on our southern border, and we're winning after years and years of losing. We're stopping drugs at a level that has never happened, unfortunately.